As it is written, the kingdom is within us. Come together and discuss the issues within the kingdom. Speak your peace. Speak the truth. For the kingdom is at hand. Kingdom Conversations.
Peace and blessings, peace and blessings, peace and blessings to the whole house, to the kingdom of the Israelites. Hope everybody's doing well today. I'm going to start off going directly to the book. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to start off with the Father's Prayer. They call it the L words prayer, but we don't use that phraseology, the L word and the G word. We call them Father. So we're going to read the Father's Prayer out of Matthew 6, 9 through 13. I'm going to start. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Verse 10, Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Verse 11, Give us this day our daily bread. Verse 12, And forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Verse 13, And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Selah, so be it. Thank you, Father, for another day to come before your people and to be able to have a conversation that you pressed into our minds. So we thank you. We thank you for first fruits. We also thank you for the Ruach HaKodesh. First fruits is the only begotten. Book says somewhere that he's the only begotten of the Father, which means that he is a deity also. See, you can call him the Son, and he can be the Son in all of his glory and still be a deity at the same time, even though he took on humanity, and he took on humanity for our sake. So we thank you. Shalom, family. Hope everyone's doing well in the chat. It's good to see you all. Glad you've decided to join the old head again for another conversation. And I appreciate you. And before I greet the family, like I always say, you could have been anywhere. Could have been watching Netflix. Could have been out somewhere getting some good food in you. Some good food, not some poison. Or you could just be at home relaxing, kicking back because you have to go into let's see, what day is that? That's day 5. That Thursday, day 5 or day 6. We try not to use the calling those gods out. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thor's Day, Friday, Saturn's Day, Sun God Day. We try hard not to use that kind of phraseology, but do it like the Father says do. Day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Months 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Peace and blessings to you, fam. Hope you're doing well. Hope the Father's keeping you. Let's start from the top and work down like how we normally do. And also, before I start, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you've been here, make sure you guys hit the like button coming in and out. And also greet your family that's in the chat. Make sure you talk to them and shalom them. Give them a chat hug, if you will. Thanking the Father to see them all. And it's good to see all of you. So I'm going to start from the top and work down. My good brother JPM, Hebrews 30, 10, 37, and 38. Appreciate you, brother. For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come. He's talking about somebody that's going to come in a minute that we're looking for to see him come. And he will not tarry. In other words, he going to come at his appointed time that's been appointed to him. Not no sooner, not no later. He going to come right on time like he always do. He's never failed us, even when we were in Christianity. He didn't fail us then, so he has no reason to fail us now. Verse 38, now the just shall live by faith. With the just is those people that serve and by him. And we live by the faith of Mashiach, which is the written word, the spoken word, the living word, the breathing word, the light that was called, the light, the whole 9 yards, everything backwards and forwards. Just shall live by faith. Live by what the book says. Live by his righteousness, not our own. But if any man draw back, you turn away from that, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. So if you get on the straight and narrow of keeping LSC, for those of you who are new, LSC is the law, statutes, and commandments. If you turn your back on Mashiach, which is LSC, then he has no pleasure in you. So we have to make sure that we be on guard. Now, I'm going to be saying this from time to time throughout today's conversation that I'm having with you all and that we're having together. Be on guard. That's going to be the operative phrase of the day. So good seeing you, JPM. Praise him. Shalom. Peace and blessings to you. Hope all is well with you. My good sister, Maria Yakita. Shalom, sis. Peace and blessings to you. 2nd Baruch 83 and 1. For El Elyon will assuredly hasten his times. That's talking about somebody. The only person who can hasten time is the one who created time and who controls time. It's talking about somebody here. Hasten his time. And that's funny that phraseology is there. Hasten means his time is sped up, or he coming a little bit quicker. And he will assuredly bring on his hours. That's a profound precept. And it precepts beautifully and wonderfully in with the conversation that we're going to have. So shalom to you, sis. I'm a star. Let me see. I'm going to start out one, sis, because we're gonna definitely get back to that. Omeya Yakita, shalom, sis. Peace and blessings to you. Hope you're well. Hope the Father's been keeping you. Praise him. I think we got you, but praise him. Did I miss you? I'm going to go back and catch you. Praise him. Shalom, peace and blessings. If I didn't catch you, please forgive me. I didn't do it on purpose, so please forgive me for that. Let's keep moving down the line here. My good brother, Daniel Blackshear, peace and blessings to you, brother. Hope all is well. Michelle Y, peace and blessings to you, sis. Hope all is well. For those that are new on Kingdom Conversations, everybody that comes in, you give us a shalom. We take the time out to greet the family and shalom you and say hello, and make sure that you say hello and greet everyone that's in the chat. It's customary for us to do that because we believe that it's customary to greet your family, and we're getting in the practice of shaloming each other now, so that when we get to where the Father's going to take us and gather us ultimately, we'll get in the habit and we'll be in the practice of shaloming other Israelites accordingly. And that's how we're supposed to be. So that's how we'll be going moving forward. Before I continue to greet the family, I'll greet my brother Elisha. Shalom, brother. How you doing? Hope all is well.
Hey, shalom, elder. Can I be heard?
Yes, you can be heard clearly. Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, shalom, elder Cleo. It's another another night. Shalom to all the family out there scattered to the four corners of the earth, all the people in the chat. How you doing, elder?
I'm doing well, man. So far, so good. I haven't. That's what I tell people when I'm in the office. I haven't blown up anything, but there's still time. I'm doing okay. Good to see you, brother. Good to have you on. Brother Najee, peace and blessings to you. Hope you are well. Go ahead and greet the fam, brother.
Hey, brothers, how you doing today? Elder Lasha, Elder Cleo, good to be on with you, brothers. All right, fam. Shalom to all of you tonight. Hope the Most High has been keeping and blessing you all throughout the week. Thanks for having me on, brothers.
Yes,
Shalom.
sir. Shalom, shalom, brother. It's good to have you brothers on. So I'm gonna keep in the middle of greeting the family. I'm keep going down the line and greeting the family. Motor City Free Press, peace and blessings. Hope all is well to you. All praises, shalom, family, and powerful speakers. It's all through the Ruach. The Ruach is awesome in his move in this hour, and he's doing a mighty job with all of his people. And smile, shalom, sis, hope all is well. Hey, brother Banya, shalom, peace and
Yo,
blessings.
what's up, son?
Hey, how you doing, man? Hope all is well. You
What's
know
up?
you're on live. You know you're on live, right?
Yo, what's up, though? How y'all doing, though, there?
Yeah,
Shalom
brother.
and blessings, all praises, honor, glory to the Most High. Shalom
Yes,
and
sir.
blessings, my brothers and
Th-
sisters
th-
out there.
I was
You know
hoping
what
somebody.
I'm saying, son?
I was hoping nobody spiked your Kadeem grape juice.
Son, you know what I mean? We out here doing our thing, you know what I mean, son? Yeah?
This brother.
Hey,
Yeah,
man,
shalom, to the elder.
he sound like he from Jersey now.
You know what I
This
mean?
is Jersey coming out right now,
Yeah, we
boys
we
and
we
girls.
we ain't taking him back. We're not taking him back in
You know what I
Jersey.
mean, son?
He been he been in
Block
Cali
shot,
too
son. You know
long.
what I mean? We gotta be out there, you know what I mean? It's getting tight out there. You know what I mean, son?
Yeah, he must
Now
have been
you
listening. He must have been
it
listening to
sound
the
like
locks all day or
DMX.
something.
He sound like DMX now. We have to put this brother on mute.
He, he been he been listening to the locks all day or something.
Oh man, y'all sound all gloomy and everything over here, man.
Oh,
Hey
is
man,
that what it is? Oh, you trying to bring the energy up?
yeah, man. Where you at, man?
Okay.
Yo, I know what it is. I know what it is, y'all. Elder Banya got a few days off from work, so he's
Oh
happy.
yeah, you already
That's
know.
what's
That's
happening.
what's up.
You
That's
already
what's
know,
up.
man.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I do believe that's it.
There we go.
There we go.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Hey, so I'll try to get my energy up. Normally, I'm the one yelling, screaming, and hollering, going off on everybody. Let's keep going down the line. Pensacola, Yah's blessed. Peace and blessings, sis. Hope all is well with you. Hope the Father's been blessing you. Romy Black, shalom, sis. Peace and blessings. Hope all is well. Abiyah Israel, shalom, sis. Peace and blessings to you. Hope you are well. Joe Scott, shalom, brother. Peace and blessings to you. Hope all is well with you. Hope the Father's been keeping you. Samara, unorthodox daughter of Zion. Peace and blessings, sister. Hope all is well. And Smile, I believe we got you. Terry Payne, peace and blessings. That's a nice piece of artwork. Shalom, peace and blessings to you. Hope all is well. Jason Camfor, shalom, brother. Let's see what the brother's asking for. Please keep my son in prayer. He fractured his left clavicle on Saturday and is currently in the hospital after a seizure early Tuesday morning. Put your son's name in the chat, Jason Camfor, so that we can petition the Father with his name specifically, but we know that he's your son, so that should suffice. However, I'm into using specific names, so if you could drop that name, I greatly appreciate it. Sister Sharon O, peace and blessings to you. Hope all is well. Nature's Graffiti, hey sis, peace and blessings. Hope all is well. Abria, I think we got you. Carissa Love, shalom, peace and blessings to you, sis. Hope you are doing well and the Father's keeping you. Let's see here. Seeking the Most High, seeking the Most High. Peace and blessings. Hope all is well. Yaki, brother, I always mess your name up, and please forgive me. I'm not doing it on purpose, and it's not like I can't read, but these Israelite names are tongue twisters. So let me see if I can get this right. Yakid, and we'll keep it at that. Peace and blessings, bro. Hope you're well. Notorious Hebrew. Hey, family. Hey, sis. Peace and blessings to you. Hope the Father's been keeping you. Smitty, where you been at, man? Smitty Q, what's good, brother? Hope all is well with you, man. We've been missing you over here, man. Where you been at, man? Hey, tell me you've been on the good shit, work for somebody else, putting in all that good work for the heathen, making them millions and millions of dollars. Ultimately, you'll be able to switch that around and build a kingdom with all that great ingenuity and knowledge that you got. Kara King, shalom, peace and blessings to you, sis. Hope you are well. Hope all is well with you. We'll keep moving down. And y'all forgive me, I'm a little bit slow today, but that's okay. We'll get to everybody. Diane Jackson, shalom, family, peace and blessings to you, sis. Hope you are well. Hope the Father's keeping you. Light of dawn. Let's see. Light of dawn. Shalom, family. Peace and blessings to you. Hope all is well with you. Mr. The Original School. Hey, brother. Hope all is well. Greetings to Saul the Earth Productions and the true Israelite in the chat. All praises to the Father for that. Appreciate you, brother. Lynn, shalom, sis. Peace and blessings to you. Hope all is well with you today. CMB, shalom. Peace and blessings. Diane Jackson, peace and blessings to you, sis. Hope the Father's keeping you. Yas, shalom, peace and blessings, Yas. Peace and blessings, hope all is well. Diana Jackson, I believe I got you. Good brother Najee, shalom, brother. Peace and blessings to you. Hope you're doing well, Najee. Hope the Father's keeping you. Let's see here. Got some new people joining in, and everybody in the chat, you better be greeting everybody else that's in the chat, whether you're new or whether you have been here a while. It's your duty to greet your fellow Israelites that are here, as well as get in the habit of greeting them when you see them face to face, as well as in the chat. So let me see here. Tiffany, peace and blessings, sis. Hope all is well with you. I think I'm coming to the end. I'm gonna keep scrolling down though. We keep greeting everybody as they come in. Let's see here. Carolyn Gannon, peace and blessings, sis. Hope all is well. Anonymous, troublemaker. Hey, shalom. Peace and blessings to you. Hope you are doing well. Hope the Father's keeping you. My good brother Rio Morgan. Hey, Rio. Hope all is well. Hope the Father's been keeping and blessing you. Designs by Daphne. Peace and blessings, sis. That's a nice piece of artwork there. That's beautiful. Hope the Father's been keeping you. Wise Society. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings, sis. Hope you're well. Kevin Maxwell. Shalom, Kevin Maxwell.
Hey,
Peace and blessings to you. Hope the Father's blessing you and keeping you. Wise Society, I believe I got you, but if I didn't get you, I'm going to get you again. Wise Society, yeah, peace and blessings, sis. Hope all is well. Let's see here. Kwam Yasharam, peace and blessings. Peace and blessings, Kwam Yasharam. Hope all is well with you. Hope the Father's been blessing you and keeping you. I think I got everybody, so that's everybody on the list. So I'm going to say again, be on guard. Be on guard when you think about today's lesson, not today's lesson, I'm sorry, because it's never a lesson, it's always a conversation. When you think about today's conversation, did I see some Jabroni up there somewhere? I see some more people came in. Shalom to you, Jabroni, if you're out there. Shalom to you. Up next, shalom. Peace and blessings to you. Hope all is well. Let me see here. Jabroni, if I miss you, please forgive me. It wasn't on purpose. But again, before I jump into anything and say anything else, it's my prayer that the Father give you new wisdom and new knowledge, that he pour new into the new wineskins, your new wineskin once you come unto your culture. Once you say, I put down Christianity and now I'm going to put on that new man and woman according to what the books say. And us putting on the new man and woman is getting back to what the book says as far as his law, statutes, and commandments. You cannot renew your mind if you're in Christianity. That's not renewing your mind. That's renewing you to error. So my prayer is that the Father give it to you, and he give it to you where you don't even understand where it's coming from. It's so much that you just fall on your knees praising and thanking him, because he done blessed you so much. And because I know he done blessed me so much. Unapologetically real, peace and blessings. So that's my prayer for all of you, that he give you so much wisdom and knowledge, and how somebody go get that precept where it says praise, pressed down, shaking, and overflowing. That's somewhere, and that's directed towards you, the Israelites. It's directed towards you. Sarita Hebrew, peace and blessings, sis. Hope all is well. Ty C. Rowland, peace and blessings to you. Hope all is well. As you're coming in, if you say shalom, I will try to shalom you. So now, fam, let's go ahead and get into tonight's KC, tonight's conversation. You guys saw what it's about. We're going to be talking about time, the construct of time, but more succinctly, what's happening with time, where are we in time, and the questions that I ask. And so, did everyone put a one up if you actually took the time, if you take the time to read when we put a new video up? Put a one up if you do that. And the reason why I'm asking that is because it's kind of important that you not only get an understanding of what we're going to be talking about, but then you read the title, and then you read not only the title, but you also read what it is the subject matter is going to be talking about. So the today's conversation is going to be about time and where is it going, right? But before I do that, I want to ask the question. Has anyone ever asked Google or God, because we all know that Google is God? Has anyone ever asked God, has time sped up? And we're going to take a look at Google, what God has to say about it. Now, we say that we call Google God in jest, not in seriousness. And so it's more or less a play, because we don't use the G word. We use the name the Father, or we use one of the names that we call him by. Ahia is a name that is succinctly used for him. If you want to get into that discussion, we got brothers that's more than capable of breaking that down. Some people call him by other names, but I like to use the term Father because there's no ambiguity, no double thought about it. And then when you look at that prayer, it says, "Say our Father." So I address him as such. I don't use a proper name to address him, and that's just how I get down. So let's take a look at what God has to say about the phraseology of "has time sped up." Now I'm going to make the screen larger, and then I'm going to do some Zoom stuff. So, and keep in mind, fam, I'm always saying that time has sped up, right? That's something that you all have heard me say before. That being said, I've never asked Google, has time sped up? And so I did that right before the show. And so if you look, scientists and science kind of agree, and this is a conversation that's been happening. If you could look at some of the comments, I'm not going to click on any of these. I'm just using this more anecdotally to show you that, hey, the thought is not just with us, and it's not just with the Salt of the Earth Productions or any individuals that you may have come in contact with. As you can see by the list here, people are actually having this conversation, and science will say that it's speeding up, and science will also say that it's slowing down. Now, those are links that you can click on. There's also videos that are out. Talks about the time spinning too fast, the Earth spinning really, really fast. The clocks are going so fast they can't keep up, so on and so forth. So I'm saying that to frame. I showed you that to frame your mind, that with the thought that time is doing something different, and we're actually in a different time. We're in that time, according to the book, that a lot of people were looking to be a part of this. Our ancestors were believing that they were going to see the time that we see right now. And so, because time is speeding up, put a 7 if you believe that time is speeding up and that's actually going faster. Let's see it. I'm gonna put some of your comments up. The day goes by fast. Yes, it does. The day and the night goes by fast. It's almost as if, and we've talked about this before on the channel, but we didn't talk specifically about time. It was more or less part of a conversation that we were having. So everybody's putting a 7 up. Somebody put in a fancy 7. Who is this guy? I don't know. He puts a V and a 2 up there as a Roman numerals. This guy right here. Look at this
like
guy.
that,
Yeah. That was pretty neat. That's pretty neat. Is that your get back at me? That's my get back?
No,
That's my get back.
Not even.
No, you just said it was. We got you on tape.
Not even close, bro.
Oh,
not
okay.
even close.
All right. So I see the 7s that's going up. And hey, brother Yash, how you doing, brother? Hope all is well. So we got all the 7s up. So a lot of people have noticed that time is sped up. It says the weekend is a lunch break. Yeah, it looks like it's going fast. So one of the things we always say that, yeah, time is speeding up, but what we need to do is we need to be aware of the time that we're in and what's really happening with time. If I look at the questions that were asked when we put the video up, if you look at the questions, one of the first questions was time, where is it going? So we have an idea based on the prophetic calendar where it's going, but the first question that I have, really, the really first question is, where are we headed? Are we moving forwards or backwards? I'm going to actually put that in the chat as soon as I can copy it. If I can't copy it, I'll just do it some other way. It looks like I got it. So here's the first. Whoa, it dropped everything. Okay, let me see here. Let me do some edits. Hold it. Bear with me, family. It copied everything in there. So the first question that we had was, where are we headed? Are we moving forwards or backwards? So that's the question that I have. And when I say, are we moving forwards or backwards, it's not necessarily a trick question. Your commentary and your part of the conversation will depend upon your perspective in life, right? And so, if I were to ask you the question, I'll ask again: where are we headed, and are we moving forwards or backwards? What would be the response to that? And I'm going to ask the panel that. I'm going to ask the panel if someone were to ask you from a time perspective, where are we headed, and are we moving forwards or backwards? What will be your response? And I'm going to start with you, Najid. How would you approach that question?
What always comes to mind for me, and even before you ask this question, I've been thinking about this. Where the scriptures, excuse me, where the scriptures say that the days will be shortened. We're certainly, I believe, we're certainly in that time where, the judgment is on Babylon, is on the second Egypt here, where we're getting prepared, getting ready to go home, and these are the trying days, where the days need to be shortened, otherwise no flesh will be saved. So if someone asked me, I'd probably point to that scripture.
Brother Banya, what say you, brother?
I would probably answer with the scripture in Ecclesiastes chapter 1. And it says, what profit having man of all his labors which he taketh under the sun? One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. The sun also arises, the sun goeth down, and hasteth to his place where he arose. The wind goeth forth toward the south, and toward about unto the north, and whirleth about continually, and the wind returneth again according to his circuit. All the rivers run unto the sea, yet the sea is not full. Unto a place where whence the rivers come, thither they return again. All things are full of labor, man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. The things that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which has been done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. So as far as the times, right? Time with us is something different. With the Most High, there is no time. So things may seem to be moving forward with us, but to the Most High, everything is still. Everything is what it is. He says that it is, and every appointed time is according to Him.
Selah, so be it. Appreciate that reading. Brother Elisha, what say you, brother? If someone were to ask you where are we headed, are we moving forwards or backwards, how would you answer that question?
Daniel 7:25, he would change, or he would try to change times and laws, or he would think to change times and laws. We could see that by the fact that different nations or different dynasties have changed the reckoning of time. Some nations went by the moon. Now we go by the Gregorian calendar set up by the Romans. You see daylight savings time. You see all these things going on in the earth. And also the fact that we can see that time is actually moving forward, whether we recognize it or not, because we're almost at that 6,000th year. of creation, since the time of creation. And we know that the 6,000th year would trigger in the 1,000 years of rest or reign of the Mashiach. And we're almost there. I saw a post, I believe, on TikTok where I think somebody read an 1800s Bible. And inside that Bible, it literally had the time right now being, I believe, in 2024, I believe, or 2026 would make it the year 5,996. Now, I'm not going to say that that's exactly accurate. I'm not going to say that their reckoning is completely on, but I know that we're close. I know that we're close to that time, given the fact that we observe a 364-day calendar. We can't be exact to the exact time because nations have changed the time so many times. But we can look at the signs in the earth, the prophecies, the fact that 400 years is up here, the fact that all the curses have been exacted on Israel. And I can see that we're coming to the culmination based off those things. So the heathen has always tried to change the time. So we wouldn't know what time it is, so we couldn't be aware of the signs. And I think some of us still suffer that we don't acknowledge where we are at right now. And that's why a lot of us will be given and taken in marriage and not know that the Son of Man is coming.
Okay, so to add on to, and thank you for the commentary and the precepts, I'm going to take that seek to change times and laws a step further. And what I mean by that is that the people who have these technological advances, and they do have capabilities that we don't know of. When they seek to want to change times and laws, they would seek to try to change actual time, go back in time and change things, change the laws of gravity, change the laws of nature. And so that precept actually encompasses a lot more than what you see on the surface, because the US, Israel, Russia, and some of these other nations have been using these other entities to do exactly what I just said. Weather's not controlling the weather and causing weather, although we know the Father ultimately controls those things with his laws, but they do have the ability to change the weather. And they have been looking at the time space continuum so that they can go in and maybe go back and change things and make some adjustments and whatnot. So when I ask the question, I want to look at some of the families chat, started from where I left off. Sin B, forward without a doubt. So you believe that time is going forward? I would say yes. Shalom, ET, brother. Hope all is well. Hope the Father's keeping you. Father, teach us the number of our days that we may gain a heart of wisdom. That's in Psalms 90 and 12. Let's see, forward in time, back to the Most High. That's pretty profound that you say it that way, because I believe that we're doing both at the same time. We're going forward. We're going backwards in time. At the same time, we're going forward, like Yashadik said. At the same time, we're going forward, we're going back. Now, that going back is going back to the Father, of course. Some of you have caught that, and that's pretty observant to be able to keep that and be able to understand that you are going back to the Father, but at the same time, you'll notice that there's a climate now. The climate of, especially here in the snakes, of wanting to get back to the good old days. The climate of do as thou will be in full effect. The climate of the Christianity and the heathen and racism and white supremacy being so prevalent that it's back out in the open again. They use Barack Obama as an excuse. They use him and use him as an excuse to say, okay, there go your reparations, but at the same time, we hate you so much. Now we need to have somebody that looks like us back in power. You had your president, he had his time, and so now it's time for you to move on, nigger. We don't have no time for to be wasting with you. Omeya Yakita says, forward, heading towards home. All praise to the Father. And family, when you have someone come back and watch this video, tell them to open the chat, have the chat open so that they can read and listen to the great commentary and hear the awesome precepts. We're moving forward into the 400. Yeah, the 400 is over with. 400 is definitely over with, and everybody signified it. All the nations signified it. You notice that. Have you noticed the trend that everybody wants to be your friend now somewhat? Everybody wants to say, hey, let's talk about reparations now. Let's talk about the Negro, the plight that the Negro is in. All these nations now are using that as a political ploy against the United States. How dare you try to be the moral authority over the earth, telling people what they can and cannot do when you wicked as hell, how you run down the so-called African Americans, how you run down the apple of the Father's eye, the true Israelites of the book. You should be ashamed of yourself, America. You should never tell China, Russia, or anybody what they should do with their nation. No, 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 sir, no, ma'am. You shouldn't have nothing to say about Iran. Iran could get loose. What does that have to do with you? It's got nothing to do with you. So stop trying to be the police of the earth. Stop trying to be the acting like you the moral right when you the moral wrong. You got a president that should be thrown in jail with all the crimes that he has committed, not only against humanity, but against his own nation. That man is a despot, a desperate. When the book say the heart of a man is wicked beyond reproach, and who can know it? I believe it's some say that somewhere in the book. They was talking about he's the poster child of that. The orange man is the poster child of that. Anonymous says Matthew 22:22, and except those days be shortened. This precept the brother called earlier. Except those days be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect. Say, who's the elect? You better put a 3 up if you know who the elect are. Because I know who the elect is. The elect is the one that Mashiach said, hey, I want you to don't go over here, don't go over there, but go to these right here. He was saying, I want you to go to a specific people. I don't want you to go to the Greeks, to the so-called Greeks. I don't want you to go to the Christians. You ain't called to go to no Baptists. You're not called to go to no Episcopalian or no Mormon or no Seventh-day Adventist. Why would he be called a kinsman redeemer if he wasn't redeeming his kin? Explain that one, Christianity. He's your kinsman redeemer. Well, who's the kin that he talking about? Let's keep reading what the fam got to say. We're moving towards the future by going back over what the old world went through. There's nothing new under the sun. Kevin Maxwell. That's bomb right there. That's absolutely amazing. Because that's exactly what I believe. As we move forward in time, as time goes faster, guess what? We're moving back in time. Brother C, how can you say that? I'm going to put a couple of our videos up. And we don't have to, do we have to play fair use to listen to our own videos? That's a trick question, right? I mean, do we have to play fair use to put up our own stuff? Or can we just do it?
Yeah, we should play fair use to listen to our own stuff because
Okay.
listen, you know the line changes for us, right?
Right. They keep they keep moving the line, and they keep doing that. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna read a couple more of these precepts. Then we're gonna look at I'm gonna do a couple more of these precepts. Then I'm gonna play a commercial, and then we're gonna jump into the videos because there's a couple of videos that I want us to take a look at and listen to. A couple of videos that we put up. Lynn says, I feel like we're going in a circle 360 and it's spinning. Yeah, it is. And it does seem like when you talk about the circle or when you hear the phraseology circle of life, yes, it is a circle, definitely. Barry Yakita, I'm going to say that for later. Jason, JPM, I'm going to say that for later. Brother Yash, let's see what we got here. Joel 2:25, and I will restore to you the years that the locust hath eaten, the cankerworm and the caterpillar and the palmer worm, my great army which I sent to mug you. Now, a great army that he sent to mug you is either you or your children, or a combination of the two. It's either you or your children. If you my age, you may have great grandchildren. But we that generation that the book's been talking about, point blank. Let's see here. Rojo says, we Judah FBA is definitely moving backwards. Or should I say being pushed backwards by the hand of them folks. We're practically back in the 40 style. All praise to the Father. You see it. You see exactly what I'm talking about. We move forward in time and you act like you making, quote, progress. But at the same time, you sliding backwards. Now, the great thing about the Father is that he has a plan. We know what the end of the construct is, and we know what the end of the heathen is. So I'm going to run fair use just off of that comment, Rojo. That's a bomb comment, and that's absolutely succinct and correct. So I'm going to run fair use, and after I run fair use, we're gonna take a look at these two videos because Rojo, that your quote is exactly succinct in terms of what my mind is thinking and what I'm hearing. So let me go and run fair use, and then we'll go ahead and get into it. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. And this is a copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, so we've ran fair use. So what I'm going to do right now is, because of that comment by Rojo is in line with what today's conversation is about, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And there's two videos that I want everybody to go back and actually three, but these two in particular, I'm going to move where we are now. And I think I'm going to cover Red Summer. So this is a video that we did. Let me get my screen share first of all. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to take a look at the video for just a moment. We're not going to stay long on it. We're going to listen to a little bit on it. I'm going to share that. Okay, I got my sharing the precept, so we'll bring this over and drop that right there, right? So I'm going to put the link in the video, and I recommend that if you haven't listened to this video, that you go back and listen to it in its entirety. There's some good information there. A lot of people have no idea what Red Summer was and is and the time that it was. So we're going to listen to this video, just a little bit, a piece of it, not the whole thing. We're going to listen to a little bit of it because, like some of you have said, as we move forward in time on the calendar of time, they're trying to pull us back into this paradigm. So if we're going to go back in time, we should understand what were the things happening in our timeline, and not only look at them, but understand, have a good, firm understanding of what those things were. Everybody in the chat, everybody that's online, everybody that's watching, everybody on the panel should have a solid idea of what Red Summer was. And if you don't, this video is definitely a pointer to that. So I'm gonna go ahead and play it. We're not gonna play all of it, and you could skip through and go through any part of this. I selected this specific part for a reason. So I'm going to go ahead and run it, and then we'll dialogue about it. The Red Summer and what that event was and the time period. But just know that it's an act that we need to know about and we need to be teaching our children. So I'm going to frame questions and answers around asking the question that some of you may have, and then we'll go into the details of the question. So first question being, what was the Red Summer? So Red Summer, and this is from Cleo's purview, was a calculated, vicious, terroristic attack on the so-called Negroes, point blank period. This calculated and coordinated attack, reason why I say it's calculated and coordinated, because it didn't just happen in one place. You hear a lot of people talking about Black Wall Street, Rosewood, and those kinds of things. Well, this attempted genocide, which is what they were doing to you, happened across the United States. And we're going to talk about the wheres and hows, but getting back to the presentation, it was a coordinated attack. Was a result from the years of the fostering everlasting hatred whites have towards Black slaves, now freed men and women. Now, keep in mind that in 1919, 1918, you hadn't been freed, what, maybe 40, 45 years, supposedly? And you weren't really free. They had just said, okay, we're going to cut you loose, go ahead and wander around, and we're going to lock you up, and then we'll do the we'll do sharecropping against you, and we'll do these Jim Crow laws and enact all of these other things. Like if we see two of you congregating in front of a store. We're going to arrest both of you and throw you in jail and make you work for free. So this same hatred exploded over and across the whole of the United States. And this was a genocidal act of barbaric violence, resulted in scores of our people being killed in dozens of cities, not just one. And in all honesty, we really don't know the true number of deaths that we experienced through this atrocity. However, this is a good thing and I'll just keep it here because I don't want to get too much into it. But we do know that there's an ultimate record kept somewhere. And without going into detail, I think everybody knows where it is. And so you'll find that the Red Summer is strikingly similar to today's events. Now, a jump ahead really to Red Summer is the idea that, okay, you had 400,000 Black troops that served in World War I, and they returned from Europe. And they fought in the war, and they were proud and organized and trained in combat. But the thought for them was that, okay, look, we just went and fought for you side by side with you, and we're going to prove to you that we're able-minded men, and we should be included in democracy, and we want our slice of democracy. And so, yet again, it was us trying to prove to this construct that, hey, you know what, we're going to go and fight, and we're worthy. But then what they didn't want to do was return back to the degrading daily insults, the ritual humiliation of Jim Crow and segregation and all of that foolishness. And then the tensions start rising between the folks that came back from the war and seeing what they saw, and they didn't want to be treated that way. So because of that, you actually have a powder keg where, okay, brothers is not trying to hear or feel that. And then the Proud Boys, since they're so proud, that's who they is. It hasn't changed, because America is this proud nation, hasn't done nothing for humanity but gone around the whole globe and have the globe under white supremacy. That's all they're good for. But again, I digress. So you have major violence in cities like Chicago and Washington, D.C. and other cities. And what leader, and it was, I believe, W.B. Du Bois and James Weldon Johnson, they dubbed it the Red Summer. And so that. Okay, so I'm going to stop right there on this video. And as I scrub the timeline, you could take a look at some of the quick snippets of what's in the presentation, who was involved. You got Joe and Jane Citizen was involved, and their children, so-called elites, the police department, the U.S. military servicemen, local, state, federal government, the alphabet folks, all media outlets. Everybody had their hand in this. And they had their hand laser guided against these brothers right here, and the sisters and their children. And you look at the imagery. Yeah, and that's why I'm going back to this. Because what the heathen wants to do is they want to perpetuate a Red Summer now, which means that they want to go back in time, as it's 2024 about to be, 2023 for some of us, because we haven't started 23 yet. We still in so-called 2022. They want to go back in time, back to the good old days, back to where they could call you a nigger to your face and then have nothing happen to them. They could beat the hell out of you and they don't go to jail. Rodney King. There's a new dynamic happening, though. One, we are neither praying for this nation, nor do we forgive this nation. But the most important dynamic is the Father is rocking out with his chosen because he's awakening them this hour. That's a big difference than 1919. It's a big difference than what you see in this time. So to say that you never knew about Red Summer isn't an indictment against your elders. It's an indictment against me. It's an indictment that's anybody that's of age, anybody that's on YouTube, anybody that talking about they teaching anything or saying anything or bringing you any information. If you've been told that history repeats itself, then what's your history? What was our people going through during Red Summer? What was our people really going through Jim Crow? Peonage, leasing the prison to school pipeline, the pipeline where they got you working for 1 penny an hour and you making these corporations rich. So I'm going to scrub through here a little bit and you can just see some of the stuff that's in here. I want everybody, if you haven't got, I'm going to go back and watch it. There's a lot of good information in here, information that you need to be sharing with your family. You need to share this information with your family and what it was about and why it was about and what it means. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing my screen. And that's where we talk about the phraseology of time. Now, Brother C, you said that something about the heathen wants to do something, right? You did mention that, Brother C, right? Yeah, I did mention that. And there's a reason why I mentioned it. I'm going to share my screen to a recent phenomenon. I'm not even going to get into that other video because the other video may seem fitting to show before this, but I am going to put this screen up, and we already ran fair use, so I don't believe we need to run fair use again. I'm gonna minimize that. And fam, here's the link to Red Summer. I'm gonna go ahead and drop that in the chat so that you all can go back and listen to it. I'm going to go back and listen to it again as well. There's a lot of good information in that video that will teach us about some of our history that the United States has kept hidden. The United States just now focusing on Tulsa, but you probably had 100 Tulsas. The United States is focused on reparations. Well, what you giving us reparations for? They try to frame it slavery, but you did more than that. We got you on record doing more than slavery. Somebody promised somebody 40 acres and a mule, and somebody reneged on that deal. So you can miss me with, oh, it's just about slavery. I could show you a video that I saw yesterday where a black man and a family, a black so-called black family, Israelite family, go to get their house appraised. The wicked entity appraised it for $300,000 less than what it was. He had one of his white friends. He's a doctor. He had one of his white friends go in, and the house appraised for $300,000 more than when the brother had it appraised. You wicked as hell. You are wicked as hell. Yes, you are. You haven't changed. You haven't changed. They say you can't change the strike. You haven't changed none of that. So now, if you know that we're going backwards in time, you know that we're going forwards in time. When we're going back, what does that actually mean? Well, that means that somebody's going to attempt to perpetuate Red Summer again. Somebody's looking to do that. Who might that be? I had an article up. I may have closed it. I may have it open somewhere. As soon as I get that, oh, there it is. It was hidden from me. So I'm gonna put this article up. The power grid. The United States power grid is in a precarious position right now. Put a 4 up if you have noticed that the power grids, our local power grids, have been under attack. And they've been under attack, and it came out who they under attack by and for and from and why. And I'm going to share my screen because these people want to go back in time. They want to jump into that time machine and say, okay, we don't want the niggers to be anymore. We're tired of them, and we just want to end them all. Kill them all. What's they saying? Kill them all, let God sort them out. That's a saying. That saying is pointed towards you. So let's check this out, fam. Let's look at the date. The date of this is January 19th, 2023. But this has been going on for a while now. But it's really sped up because they're tired that their fearless, the pink orange man, didn't execute what they was hoping that he execute. So now you got all these people jumping out the window. So FBI warns of neo-Nazi plot as attack on Northwest power grid spikes. As a string of attacks on electrical substations unfolded in Oregon and Washington in 2022, the FBI was warning utilities of who? Their own people, plots to take down the nation's power grid. Who? These people right here. The same people that perpetuated, and let's not get it twisted. When I see these people right here, when I see these people right here, and when I see these people right here, y'all all the same game. I don't see no difference in this alphabet soup and these clowns, because these people right here is probably in alphabet soup. These people right here is probably aligned with this right here. That must be true, because there's no way that you can say, okay, let's bring crack cocaine. Let's invent crack cocaine. Whoever invented it was a mad scientist, but that's a whole nother question for another day. Let's invent crack cocaine, but let's push it into the Negroes' neighborhoods so that the Negroes can self-destruct. And then after we do that, let's also put guns in their neighborhoods too, free truckloads, and so that they can start killing themselves in mass while they high, while they destroying themselves. No. Crack cocaine was way worse than H, way worse than boy. For some of y'all that know what I'm talking about. Let's read a little bit of this article. A white pickup truck with a rack of roof lights blazing pulled up to an electrical substation in the small town of Morton, Washington, about 70 miles south of Seattle. So this was Seattle. This is what they did. I'm not going to read the whole article. Y'all know I never do that. But here's the idea. Attacks like the one in Morton are on the rise in the Northeast. There have been 15 since June, more than in previous 6 years combined. The recent attacks make this region a hotspot for such activity, so the Northwest and really everywhere. But as the FBI and extremist researchers have noted, neo-Nazis have been calling for just such attacks. Now, I'm going to give you guys some information if you're not familiar with Turner Diaries. This is right out of the Turner Diaries book. Google Turner Diaries, Turner, Turner, space diaries, and then you'll get their playbook. And the Turner Diaries is simply for them to how they, it's like a playbook and a manual for them to cause chaos and anarchy all over the United States, with the idea that they're trying to go after you. No different than what happened during Red Summer. They have a little bit of an obstacle though. And their biggest obstacle is the Most High, our Father. He's the biggest obstacle. Because at the same time you put crack in our neighborhoods and you tried to destroy us, you did not succeed. Not only did that not work, now you're dealing with wave after wave of dope. You got the wave of heroin. You've got the wave of what's that one? Crystal meth decimated y'all, and now you're dealing with fentanyl. And now you try to legalize and say, okay, we'll give them shooting galleries. We'll decriminalize it. We know you didn't do that for us. We've talked about that before. That's of no consequence though, because there's nothing that you're going to do that's going to save you from the Father's wrath. You are under judgment, heathen. You are. You cannot get around that. The Father's judging you just like he's judging all of Psalms 83 and every nation that opened up their mouth. You didn't even have to touch us. You open up your mouth against the Israelites, the Father going to do you. So I'm going to put this article in the chat, because this is what we're talking about. You going forward in time, but they want to drag us back in time. You look at that wicked entity, Ron DeSatan. What he's talking about, African American history is of no value to our nation. He just did that, last week? So you mean to tell me we're not going backwards? If you're saying that our history is of no value, you don't have a nation without the so-called, without the Israelites. You don't even have a nation without the Israelites. So what is you talking about, sir or ma'am? You done lost your rabbit ass mind. Yeah, no, we can't forget about Devil's Punch Bowl. We gonna get to that though, ET. It's funny you mentioned that, because we're gonna look at the other piece of that other video that we got that covers the Devil's Punch Bowl. Yes, sir. Those of you who don't know what the Devil's Punch Bowl is, you should Google that. And then if you put all the heinous acts that have been done to the apple of the Father's eye on a timeline, then you will say to yourself, wow, how did those people get through that? I don't even know how y'all got through the Civil War, to be honest with you. I have no idea how y'all made it through that. The Father must have been watching over y'all, because the Civil War was an act of, that was one of the most heinous acts Probably second to transatlantics, easily, because you caught in the middle and both sides hate your guts. Both sides killing you. There's a lot that we don't know that we need to. Why do you need to know your history? Because you need to know it, because that's going to be repeated, but it's going to be repeated in reverse. You need to be aware. What I say, what's the operative phrase of the day? Put a 7 up if you know the operative phrase of the day is be on guard. That's the operative phrase of today. Be on guard. Brother C, what are you talking about? I'm not even talking about being on guard physically. I'm talking about being on guard of these silly spirits that's telling you to fall off and go run and do something. These evil spirits that's telling you, oh yeah, I need to get into tarot card reading. Opening up these portals where you're not trained in. Touching stuff that you shouldn't touch. You need to be careful this hour. Be on guard. You're gonna try to be a spiritual Superman trying to get with them other entities. First of all, these other entities been here. They've been here since time immemorial. And the training that Mashiach had and got, yeah, they ain't got it yet. If the Father showed you how to do some things, great. Rock out with the Father. But don't be jumping out the window talking about you're going to get with something and you're not trained. Well, I look like a fool jumping out the window talking about, oh yeah, I'm a rock out. Somebody get that precept where 7 sons of Sceva. What happened to them? The 7 sons of Sceva. Didn't the entity say, well, I know about this disciple and I know about that one over there. But y'all, I don't know about y'all. Didn't he convince the beating the hell out of them? He was probably whooping on them mentally, spiritually, physically, in every way imaginable. So being on guard is not being on guard for the heathen. You better watch the heathen, though. You better be watching him with one eye open and one eye closed. You don't fall asleep on him. Whether you on the job, whether you at the house, whether you cooking, cleaning, whatever. You at the game, you keep your eye open on the heathen. Watch him and her. And quiet is kept. You better watch the children. Because the children, they the ones that's committing mass rage. We did a show 2 months ago on mass rage where we talked about the gun archive violence, and we looked at the gun violence archive (GVA). Go to gun violence archive, and they'll take you to any shooting that happened in the snakes. They have it on there. Any shooting they have on in the snakes, they have it on there. So let's see where we gonna go. Let's see what the fam has to say. Fam, y'all have to forgive me because I went on my long-winded rant, and the chat is blowing up. Somebody threw a 6 in there. Let's see, Sarah. Yeah, I see you, sis. You need to get saved with that 6, though. I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you, sis. I'm just playing with you. Let's see here. Let's see what the fam got to say. These folks so wicked that while they were fighting the Civil War, they instigated bloody revolution in Japan. That's something, ain't it? That's something. That's something. And then they have in their mind fixed that we're not going to pay for anything that we've done on this earth. We're going to get raptured and taken out of here. Meanwhile, their power structure knows what's up because their power structure has access to those records that you don't have access to. Trust and believe that. Vatican, Roma, they didn't read them scrolls that got your name in there. And they say, okay, well, this brother gonna be doing this, so let's not do that. Or the Father got them planned to do that, so let's not try to do this. See, they trying to navigate this sea of error that they done perpetuated over the earth. And that's a crying shame. That's an absolute crying shame. Shalom, Tangela Hardy. Shalom. The hospital my daughter delivered my grandson in gave her fentanyl in her IV without telling her. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? That's no. I need to go back to that. I need to stay right here for a minute. I need to stay right here. Check that out. So you gonna give fentanyl, you wicked beast, you wicked entity. You gonna give an Israelite fentanyl so that she can have a seizure. I hope the Father chop your head off for doing that. Hope he get you for doing that. That's wrong right there. Y'all can put that precept back up that you had up a second ago. But this is a heinous, and see, this is what they want to go back. They want to do like how they say, kill them all, let the father sort them out. That's what they think they want to do. Somebody say never try. Oh, I'm sorry. Put that precept back up. I'm sorry about that, bro. Put that precept back up. Acts 19:16. And the man in whom the evil spirit was leaped on them and overcame. Let's talk about the 7 sons of Sceva right here. You jumping out the window trying to get with these spirits, and you haven't been taught, you haven't been trained. Mashiach was trained in how to deal with these things. He was trained on how to deal with people and on how to deal with spirits. So you can't tell me you can't get there by reading no tarot. You can't tell me you gonna get there. You read a book. You can read all these books that's out there. You need to be careful though. Be on guard. You want to do something, renew your mind with the book. With the 1611 and the good extra biblical ones that precept right back to it. You don't need to be jumping out the window, jumping into all these quote spirituality books, the Bobby Hemmitts and all of that foolishness. You don't need that. That's going to lead you to degradation, and ultimately you're probably going to lose your mind. Point blank. Never trust your enemy. That's right. You bet not. You better not trust the old or the young. You better be on the lookout for everybody. Be on the lookout for 1 12, 1 12. Be on the lookout for a 12-year Caucasian who just blew up the local Walmart. Yep, I did say that. He just shot up the local Walmart in Buffalo, New York. Gendron. You better be on the lookout, but you better guard your mind spiritually this hour. This is some interesting times that we're living in, folks. And because we're living in such interesting times means that you need to be doing everything possible to be on the same page as the Father. How you get on the same page as the Father? If you know that answer, you better put a 1 up. Now I'm going to go to my brothers and ask them what they thought about not only the video, but what they think where we at so far. Brother Eliashah, what say you, brother? What's your thoughts?
I mean, it's a long history of the devices of Esau or the nations against our people. I mean, we can chronicle since the sacking of Jerusalem in 70 AD, some of the sadistic things that have been done to our people, and the many categorizations for the type of torture that they've given to us. You know, the information in the video was on point, and all our people should know these things. But you know, through modern religion, our people have been taught they should forgive such atrocities and torture. They should assimilate fully to where they don't make any difference between themselves and the heathen. Right now, our people don't even recognize themselves as anything but the heathen. We believe we're Gentiles. We believe we're renewed in Christianity, not renewed in Christ. For some reason that, you know, brothers and sisters seem to think they're renewed in Christ, but their renewing is inside their religion, and their religion has deceived them. So our people should be abreast of this information, to all the things that has happened to our people. And it should make you feel some type of way, considering the standard that is set in this country. The standard set in this country, and I've seen a video recently, I guess it was a United States general who was sending out a warning to the other nations if they even thought to mess with America. And he pretty much ended it by saying, if you mess with us, your children, your sons and daughters will grow up fatherless and motherless. You know, this was the warning at the thought of doing any type of evil to this country or making any type of preemptive attack against it. But yet, after all the things that's been done to us, all the tortures, and even the current social, attacks that come against our people, whether it be poverty, mass incarceration, police brutality, poor education, psychological damage and torture that we're going through, just how we perceive ourselves to be. You know, our women wanting to look like the nations, our men being effeminate, being the face of homosexuality. These are constant spiritual war against our people. And the only thing that will wake our people up is to understand what the truth is. You know, if at all we can get our people, and I mean that's the totality of all Israelites to do, to get our people to try to recognize the truth, that believing the truth, accepting the truth is believing in the Mashiach, is faith in the Most High. You can't ignore these things and say that you're somehow religious in any way and that you have any salvation coming to you. All you're right for is the sword, just like the heathen.
Brother Bonnier, what say you, bro?
Well, I want to share some information real quick, just to add on to what you showed. Now, I've spoke on this before. Now, what I've looked up is what is war propaganda, and it's three things that you want to look into when you talk about war propaganda. The first one says propaganda in wartime must seek to demoralize enemies' morale. A primary objective of propaganda aimed at enemies' nations is to break down their will to fight. It seeks to lower the enemy's will to resist, and it does this in several ways. One is to picture the military successes on the propaganda side. Now, here's another one: the purpose of war propaganda. What is the goal of war propaganda? Propaganda is used to promote a particular agenda or point of view. The goal of propaganda can vary, but common goals include shaping people's opinions, convincing them to support a particular cause or political candidate, or encouraging them to behave in a certain way. Now, lastly, it says again, what is war propaganda? War propaganda is the branch of public relations devoted to manipulating people's attitudes towards a war or war in general. Rather than engaging in open dialogue, it includes both pro-war propaganda by governments and war industrialists and anti-war propaganda by pacifists or enemy sympathizers. Now, I'm saying that to say this. What you showed in the video are all declarations of war against our people. Their thoughts, their actions, their words are all war propaganda. It's all a declaration of war against our people. When you see things like this happening, like Red Summer, the Devil's Punch Bowl, Tulsa, Alabama, 70 AD, the transatlantic slave trade, when you see these things and you read about them, this is war propaganda. Flooding our neighborhoods with drugs, war propaganda. The things that they say about us Israelites is all war propaganda to influence people to think a certain way about us, so that when they start outright killing us, they won't have that many sympathizers on our side. And also, when you look at the recent gun violence and things happening, that's not to get the guns out of everybody's hands, but primarily out of our hands, to get us to not be able to protect ourselves, right? Because anytime we go to protect ourselves, that's when the problem comes. The NRA had nothing to say about gun regulation until the Black Panthers started protecting themselves, right? So this is what it's always aimed at. It's aimed at demoralizing our people, getting them disarmed, putting out information that's damning, lies, to make our people look like we're violent. For instance, when you say you're an Israelite to any of your brothers or your sisters that's not in the same thought process or the same understanding, the first thing come out of their mouth is, I believe all people can be saved. Why do they think that? Because the propaganda going out is that to be an Israelite is to condemn everyone to hell. So it's war propaganda against our people. That's what it is. Red Summer, all of that. It's war propaganda to set things up to have us being slaughtered and no one caring or having any compassion for us.
What I will say to that is that video, Red Summer, I'm gonna drop the link again if I can find it. That video actually goes into that. During the time of Red Summer, one of the things that they did was they disarmed the Israelite, took away your weaponry, and that left you open. Because if you don't have a hammer to protect yourself, as any normal person would, whether you be male or female, woman or child, you should be able to defend yourself. And that's one of the wicked things that they did. They took your arms and you were left with empty hands. Well, that's no different than the strategy that they did on Africa, because China gave them gunpowder and they were able to go over the earth acting buck wild. Brother Najee, what say you, brother? What say you?
Yeah, everything you brothers just spoke about. But also, I think one of the most criminal things that's happening right now against Israel is inclusion. This whole diversity, equity, and inclusion thing that's going around, that everybody needs to be inclusive, where you can no longer say or do certain things against quote unquote black people. Um, we see in the past maybe year and a half, a lot of our Israelite women being placed in really prominent positions. Now, I'm not one to say that they can't do the job, that they don't deserve it, but you have to really look at the focus of that, and try and really think about what that's about. What could be the reason to put quote unquote strong, powerful black woman in these high ranking positions that you would never see a black man in, for the most part. First thing, somebody would do to argue that point is, well, you had Obama, right? You had Obama in the biggest position, I guess you could say, in the world. But part of that is what they're doing, right? This continued integration, this everything's okay, this you can make it too, this you just pick yourself up by your bootstraps, this yeah, we'll help you. There may not be a million brothers in prominent positions now, but if you work real hard, someday you'll get there, right? Same old story, same old thing. So I want to backtrack a little bit on what you were saying earlier about time going, time speeding up, but also reverting back to the past. And a lot of this integration stuff we have experienced before. And I do agree. A lot of it is reverting back to the past, the same old games that they were playing before. All of this is just trying to find a way to keep us here without giving us what is rightfully ours. But the Most High will be here to rescue us, I think, very soon.
I concur with all the brother's sentiments. To your point, Najee, putting the female up was really a slap in the face to the male, and they put the female up under the guise of feminism, under the guise of putting up a strong black woman, bringing out her masculinity, while at the same time slapping the man in the face, because you definitely have men that could fill those positions. So it was definitely by design a coordinated effort and attack, just like the attack to remove the male out of the home. Now, I'm not saying that sisters can't do jobs. Sisters only. Put a one up if you believe that your brother C always talks about the sisters from an equitable standpoint. I want just the sisters to put a one up right now. Because here's the thing, our sisters, like our good sister Harriet Tubman, peace be upon her, she was a leader in her own right. You have sisters in the book that were leaders in their own right. Dinah was a leader in her own right, believe it or not, even though she was raped by that heathen. She was a leader in her own right. I'm not saying that sisters can't lead. What I am saying, though, that this was a coordinated effort to put her in a high position and to put us at an even lower state. You see, if you have the roles reversed, where the man is not the head, and I'm not going to say that every man is right to lead or is fit to lead. However, if the roles are flipped, then you're going to have chaos. Somebody get that precept where it says you subvert whole households with your teaching, not only with your teachings, but with your government, with your establishment, with how you move. That's part of that subverting. Our whole household is a bit subverted, but we know what the end is. We're talking about all the ill, which is, it's good for us to know these ills, but you have to know what the end and conclusion is going to be. Because if you know what the conclusion is going to be, you'll be able to move accordingly, not move in fear, not move in doubt, but move in succinctly that, hey, you have the more sure word of prophecy, and you're living and breathing prophecy yourself. Your life as a so-called African American, but really you're the people of the book, is it as an Israelite, is a testament to, for, and against the nations. You are open walking testimony, and that's why they hate you so. They hate you so because they could see your light. They could see your light coming. How can this individual, how can this nigger be standing around smiling when their people are at the bottom of the barrel and we've been kicking their head in, bashing their head in? And they still running to talk about they talk about they believe in Jesus. Now they talk about they the Israelites. You be the Israelite. Thanks for putting this piece up. Titus 1:11. Whose mouths must be stopped. Anybody opening up their mouth against this awakening, your mouth need to be stopped. I don't care who you is. I read this precept before. I'll read it again. Yo, the Father gonna turn you off, because what's gonna be proven is Christianity was the broad gate. It's going to be proven that Christianity was a bunch of physicians of no value, because you never taught the book, because you didn't have the book and you never knew the book. So therefore, your whole 45,000 is invalid. Baskin Robbins is closed. You need to open up and do some else. Matter of fact, what you need to do, become an atheist. That's your lot in life, because you don't believe. Somewhere say, if how you gonna believe Paul writing if you can't believe my words? I think somebody said something like that. I might be paraphrasing. Could be, but I'm not sure. I starred a bunch of comments. I'm going to go back to them because I thought that they were pretty awesome with what's going on in the chat. I'm going to throw some of them up. And again, family, to those of you who are rocking out, keep rocking out. I'm going to put some of these comments up. Then we're going to have a very quick commercial break. Some of them are joining the heat and fighting against us. Yes, they are. They out of their mind. Now, why would you join the losing team when the winning team? Okay, so the losing team is right now they the tail, and the tail getting ready to be placed on the animal. Meanwhile, the head has moved around and morphed from the tail to the head, and that's getting ready to be placed on the animal, according to what Deuteronomy say. So if I know that, if I believe this book, then I know that I'm on the winning team. I know that we were once the tail, but now I'm operating and moving like we're the head. So therefore, I don't have to not only not fear, because I know what's going to happen. I don't fear them. I don't run from them. I don't venerate them. I don't lift them up. The only people I'm talking about is the Israelites, and we the greatest people on the earth. Period, point blank. We the most creative. We the most ingenuitive. Why? How can you say that, bro? Because everybody make money off of you. Instead of you looking towards each other and looking to each other now, this hour, talking about if we want to do something, we can do it right now for the kingdom. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You don't need nobody permission. The Father done already gave you permission. If he say you're going to be the head, you don't need nobody else permission to do nothing on the earth. You could just go do it. Sir or ma'am, go do what the Father, go do his will. Sir or ma'am, I challenge you right now. Go do his will. I just had a run in, my sister Notorious Ebro. I just had a run in with one of the unaware telling me how sad we are for not trying to move forward with Massa. Who in the hell wants to move forward with the losing team? Can't you see whoever this is? This construct is failing. It's about to be end. Why would I be connected to that? I need to be connected to the Father. I need to know how the Father wants us to move this hour. You better be on guard. You better renew your mind. You better steep your mind in those law, statutes, and commandments, which is Mashiach. I challenge everybody to do that. I challenge everybody to abstain from sin. Stop whatever sin you're doing, you stop. Get away from it. It's trying to bring you down. It's trying to put you into the grave. Yes, it is. I'm speaking for Brother C. Brother C, what you doing? You know you should be doing those things. Stop it. So what I'm going to do, fam, right now is, let's see. Somebody says Psalms 109, CMB. Yep. Psalms 109, you better be praying that. For those of you, if you want to learn how to pray for the heathen and your enemies, go to Psalms 109. And if you forget about that, go to our website, sotepp.com, and pick up some Psalms 109 t-shirts, hats, and hoodies and sweatshirts. That's what you could go get it, because we got it written like that. Rojo, y'all better not be up here praying for America or crying for this piece of crap. You better not be. You don't even know the Israelites have the most powerful prayer out of everybody else on the globe. When we pray, stuff happens and stuff moves. When we talk to the Father, books say, somebody get that precept, the prayer of the righteous availeth much. That's what the books say. I believe that's somewhere in there. Who is the righteous? How you get that? What's that magical formula to be righteous? Is it your righteousness or is it his righteousness? You put on his righteousness. What's his righteousness then? You're not going to normally, out of your own volition, be LSC. You're not. I'm not going to be LSC on my own volition. If I have my own volition, I'll be doing everything known to man. Well, not quite everything, because I do have my limits, right? And we all should have limits and boundaries. Now, running around trying to do everything that the heathen is doing. You're supposed to be set apart. How you set apart? What sets you apart from everything else that's happening on the earth right now? How are you any different? How are you any different than the Christian? If you're an Israelite Christian, if you're a Christian light, how are you any different than what's happening on the earth when you running around talking about, oh yeah, I still believe I could speak in tongues? No, you cannot. Well, show me that in a book if you ain't got no interpreter. Show it to me. Anyway, y'all done heard me say that one before. I'm going to go ahead. We're going to run this commercial right quick. Then we're going to get back to the other video that I got. This is a good time. It's an hour and a half. We've been an hour and a half in. We're going to go 2 hours today, and that might be about it. So, fam, I want you to watch this commercial. And if the Father leads you, support the channel. So that was our brief commercial. I do want to quickly go to the site because I did mention the Psalms 109 line that we do have. And like I said, we do have a line for that. So I'm going to share my screen right quick. Just take a moment. And if you like what we do here, go ahead and support the channel. And you could support the channel by go ahead and picking up some merchandise. We got t-shirts, hats, and those kinds of things. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And so this is the Psalms 109 collection. I'm going to click on it. Click shop now. And this is our Psalms 109 collection. And and it's a play on words where we're talking about pray for your enemies. That's what we say here. So I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to stop the PSA. And so now I'm going to get into that second video. Now, one of my brothers brought this up earlier. And so the second video has to do with the Civil War. Now, and I'm going to put the link up in the video. In this video, I want the family to watch it in its entirety. Have your family watch it because there's things and knowledge and information that we don't know about the Civil War. Somebody mentioned Devil's Punch Bowl. I believe we go into that here. We have no idea what our family was going through in the Civil War. Let me frame it for you. You had the South talking about, hey, those niggers are ours. We own them and we want to keep them. The North say, okay, we want them, but if we can't have them, we don't care about them. So we're going to kill them. The North. The North was guilty. Well, how can you say that, brother? See, if you Google the Devil's Punch Bowl, the North was in control of the concentration camps. Well, what do you mean concentration camps, brother? See, that's something new. There's no such thing as no concentration camp. Oh, yes, it was. I'm gonna show you how. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Let me get it set up right there. I gotta get set right. Do that first. Don't jiggle wires against yourself, right? We'll go ahead and share my screen and we're going to look at the video that I just put up. And the video is entitled The Civil War, What Happened to the Israelites During This Time, right? And so we're talking about going forward in history, but then these entities want us to repeat this history. They want to not only repeat this history, they want to really just wipe you off the earth. That's what they're really saying they want to do in reality, right? But we know what's going to befall them and we know what the Father has in store for us. So I'm going to go ahead and play this video. We're going to listen to a little bit of it, and then we may scrub the timeline a little bit, and I want to get some commentary after that from the family. Understand? So now imagine that for men. Men can handle certain things, and I'll say this, women can too. I'm not gonna slide our women because our women are very, very strong. Very strong. We had a woman create and lead us through the Underground Railroad. So you can't tell me nothing about our Black women. Our Black women are our backbone, right? So having said that, let's move on to. No, let me make this point perfectly clear. Our ancestors were going through it. They had nowhere to run to. They had no protection. They didn't have food. They had no way to buy anything. And not only that, but they also had children. Imagine that. You got a family, if you weren't separated from your family, but you got little children, babies that you have to deal with. While these factions decide that they want to fight over you to see who controls you. That should sound familiar, right? But I digress. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so contraband camps. I had to scratch that out and call them concentration camps because that's what they called them back then. They called them contraband camps, but in reality, they were the original concentration camps. Now, one could make the case that the Native Americans were put in concentration camps, but that's not so, because the difference between what happened to us and what happened to them is the fact that we weren't given large acres of land to keep. Big difference. We may have been offered something, we may have been given something for a short time, but we never got to keep it. So they are called contraband. When you get a moment, you guys look up contraband camps. I crossed that out for a reason because they try to make it seem like basically a contraband camp is a property camp. Because you were property, they put you in this camp, but in reality, they were concentration camps. Bible says that what happened to Jerusalem wouldn't happen to anyone else. Okay, so who was involved? Now, the concentration camps were run by the North. And typically what would happen is if a plantation owner ran from their land or gave up their land, left everybody there or whatever, then the Northern Army would come in and probably take over that spot. They would take over that spot, take over the land, and they would be in control of that land, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Oxford Research Encyclopedia, right? And we're going to take a look. We're going to attempt to answer those questions. Who was involved? Why did it happen? And then the last part, all Israelite hands on deck. Okay, so now I'm going to scrub the timeline a little bit because I'm going to stop right here and we're going to take a quick look. When we talk about concentration camps, these are some of them. One of these somewhere is Devil's Punch Bowl in here, and we do cover the Devil's Punch Bowl. We touch upon it And these are some of the things we talk about, the conditions of the camps. They really wasn't giving them food. But what they were also doing is they were forcing them into labor. They were even forcing the children into labor, which was cold. And here we go, the Devil's Punch Bowl. And so we did cover it. We talked about this a little bit. We put some links up. We didn't go into it with the full detail because both of these videos, whether you talk about Red Summer or whether you talk about the atrocities of what we went through in the Civil War, are two breadcrumbs that everybody who is an Israelite should have in their arsenal. You should have this in your back pocket arsenal where you can say, bam. What you mean by saying bam? What does that mean? Well, somebody try to, well, number one, that you know your history. Well, somebody try to speak against you talking about reparation this or reparation that. Tell me about you paying the heathen slave owners for 3 or 4 times and keep paying them year over year. You're probably still paying them for the slaves that they lost. The concentration camps were ran by the North. So you got death facing you by the North, and you got them chasing you, killing you from the South. You caught in the middle. What's the difference between then and now? You got the Republicans on one side, you got the Democrats on the other. What's the difference? Two heathens fighting against each other. What you should do, Israelite, is get the hell out of the way and let them destroy themselves. That would be my recommendation to you. You don't join up in no census. You don't join up with no Republicans. You don't link up with no Democrats. I tell them up front, hey, I'm voting agnostic. I'm neither Republican or Democrat. Trump and Biden both need to go to hell. Oop, did he say that on the open wire? Yes, I did. I don't give a damn about Trump or no Biden. No Kamala Harris, no Mike Pence. None of them. To me, all of that is just entertainment to get the heathen spun up. And the heathen is the white evangelicals, them wicked entities, they wrapped around the axle 10 times. 10 times and back again. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Y'all got the link to the video. I would recommend that you watch that video. Recommend it. Recommend it to your family. And matter of fact, you don't have to watch this video, but it does have some pointers and breadcrumbs in it that's going to point you to understanding our history, because this is where we're potentially going, or this is where they're potentially going. This is where they potentially would like to go. But at the rate that the Father's tearing up stuff, there may not be none of them left. Y'all been watching what's been happening in California, right? In Cali, what you would call the Moabites, some would call them the Moabites. Their people been losing their mind, and it's been the elders. Notice it's been like the one dude was in his 60s, the other dude was in his 70s. And to me, okay, so this is what it looks like to me. It doesn't look like somebody mad because somebody with somebody woman or none of that goofy stuff, right? It's got nothing to do with that. To me, I think it's just what's been happening in their hoods is just now spilling out, because they've been good at hiding all of the human trafficking, the dope trade, the illegal gambling houses that they got, these massage parlors that they got. All the wickedness that they've been doing is starting to reverberate, and it's all starting to come out. You know, y'all know that we in the time of truth, right? You can feel it in the air. Not only can you feel death in the air, you can feel your reparations getting ready to come to you. You can also feel that it's time for you to get the hell up out of here and to go where the Father talking about he taking us, where we going to be gathered at. America is not for your turn. Brazil ain't either. The land that he promised to our ancestors, wherever that may be, if that's in Israel, cool. If it's in Akiba land, cool. I'm okay with that. Wherever it is. Go to our video. What's that video we put out 2 months ago? Mass rage. Mass rage. And here's what's crazy. What's nuts is this. Now the heathens, their whole age get to act a monkey fool, right? But the Asians got the old heads going buck wild. That's fascinating to watch. It's very fascinating to watch. I'm sitting back. I'm like just like how I always wake up. Father, what you gonna do today? The Father say, somebody get that precept where he say he control the left hand and the right. He control both sides. The Father's the ultimate Hegelian dialectic conversationalist chess player. The Father run Hegelian dialectic, period. We need to come up with a name for that for the Father. It's just him doing what he want to do because it's his construct. Point blank, period. You don't have to worry about what he doing because he put it in the book and he gonna do it. He said he was gonna do it. Those frequencies and words that he said is still rotating the earth, circulating the earth right now. If you believe in a flat earth, it's circulating, it's still bouncing off, it's bouncing off the dome. If you believe in a globe, a globe earth, then it's circling around the earth that way. But make no mistake about it, whatever he said, if he said his word would never come back void, that means that it's still living. Yes, sir, yes, ma'am. It's still alive. His words is not dead. Words can't be dead. It's the stuff that he said was going to happen. It's happening right now before you. So what should you be doing, Israel? What should you be doing? Guard your mind. Guard your mind. Be on guard. What's the operative phrase, fam? Be on guard. Period. Now I'm going to turn to my brothers on the panel and ask them what they thought about the little quick snippet. And it'd be good for all of us to go back and look at that civil war, us being caught in the middle. I'm going to start with my brother Najee. Brother Najee, what say you, bro?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of stuff. I remember watching that video a little while back. There's just a lot of stuff we can always bring out, right? I mean, there's always something that seems to be hidden, just right under the surface. Since our awakening, a lot of this stuff is coming to the surface. We're just not being opened up to the scripture. And I think that's the greatest thing. The scriptures are opening up to us, proving that we are the people of the book. We are who the prophecies are written to. Only we can unlock, what is locked. But it's also a lot of these things historically that, that just have been hidden from us. Sometimes they've been right in our face. We've been lied to about them, and we've never, been, I don't want to say given the opportunity, but never really thought sometimes to just take the time and look at, hey, wait a minute, this happened to us. Hey, wait a minute, this was perpetrated on our people. It's deeper and more devious than we even thought it was. So, yeah, I do. Excuse me. I do remember seeing that video. I did love it, and like Elder Cleo said, I think everybody should backtrack on that one and sit down and watch it with your families and get your popcorn.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You said something. You said a mouthful just then. And I'm not going to add anything to it. What I will say to the family is this. When you go back and play this video, I want you to pay very close attention to the brothers on the panel, not me. I'm just a loudmouth blowhard. Pay attention to the brothers on the panel and to their commentary. Point the family back to not only listen to their commentary. It's almost like you have to watch these videos and listen to them a couple of times. I do personally. I go back and I replay it. I like to replay it and watch the chat. I watch the chat because you guys have great commentary and you have great precepts. You need to combine that with what the brothers on the panel are saying, because the Father's working with these brothers. I'm telling you, I didn't say me. I said the Father's working with these brothers because I need to get saved. And maybe these brothers are saved, but I can tell you point blank, pay attention to what they're saying, not so much as how they say it. Listen to what they're saying. Get your family to listen to this. Get your family to go into the chat and read the precepts. Read the precepts and please read the commentary, because together, we're a powerful entity. That's why you liquid money. What's liquid money, brother C? For those of you who don't know, you liquid money. Well, why you call us liquid money, brother C? The Israelites is liquid money because every time somebody see you, they want to shake you down and get every nickel out of you. That's why you're liquid money. You the only entity that can go into a job, the job be broke and tore down the hell. You arrive on the scene. Now they start making money. Yeah. You work in the warehouse and then they promote you because everything's so tore down. You the only one that can get things back in order. They hire you. They say, oh, yeah, this brother's good at what he does. We need to promote this brother because he's so dope with what he do. He got us in line. He understands the processes and the procedures, and he's a hard worker at what he does. That's a hypothetical, but could be real, right? What did he say? We in the black now, boss. Huh? That's right. They look at you with the glazed donut face, and y'all know what that look is when you start speaking. And if you can speak eloquently way more better and know their language better than they do, and you know technology better than they do, they give you the glazed donut face where they looking like, what manner of nigger is this telling me these things, what I should be doing and what I should be? Who is this nigger? That's what they saying in their mind, right? Brother Elisha, what say you, brother?
You know, it made me think of a story I had read some time ago, where we had a regiment of so-called black soldiers who had just won a crucial battle. I believe it was either for the Union Army or it was for the British. It was one or the other. Well, I remember after they had won that battle, they had they wanted certain rights, and they couldn't get those rights. They were not even allowed to eat in the same chow hall, mess hall, something to that effect. And I remember that they were all executed. The whole regiment was executed. You know, I don't know how often or how famous the story is or how much has been passed around, but that's what I thought of, because I never understood how people that came here in our condition can sign up willingly to fight for the people who that you would think we would want to usurp. Now I know even right now we got a lot of our brothers and sisters that's inside the military, and it's really no stab at them, because it lets me know that the psychological warfare that Esau was waged against us, he was largely successful because of the curses. That we would fight for him, that we would fight to protect a country that we came here as slaves. And it reminds me of that movie Glory, how at the end, the brothers had laid down their lives for the black general. One particular had whipped Denzel Washington in the movie. That this is how we've seen fit to reward the oppression that we've suffered here. Even the fact that if you look at it spiritually, we actually pay the American government reparations right now. In a lot of ways, we do right now. By the fact that he taxes our wages and we're in the lowest tax bracket, so he gets to tax us more. And by the fact that his people is always in a higher enough tax bracket where they're taxed less. And the higher the tax bracket goes up, which is usually where it really covers only affluent white people, that some of them don't even get taxed at all. You run businesses or corporations, you can almost not get taxed a dime. But yet our people are taxed as if we were always equal here, and that we have made this country somehow to plummet in value. So yeah, when I think about videos like that, it reminds me of our situation today. That we stand right now. The only reason that this military is as strong as what it is because we fighting it. As the Elder Cleo said, the only reason that a lot of these companies flourish is because we're working for them. A lot of the reason that America is where it's at today is because we built it. That we keep lifting up prayers for. That we're still here. You know how the scriptures say, it says, separate my people and don't be a partaker of their plagues. It says, flee or get from the midst of them. You know, it's a reason why the Most High is bringing these things down on this nation for all the things that they've done to our people. And one of the biggest captivities that we suffer right now is spiritually. I mean, I'm talking about psychologically, that we believe that we're one people with these people. And there's always these atrocities that they commit against us. That is going on the whole 400 and something years we've been here. I mean, and it's still going on now. Some things that you can see, some things that you can't see. But it's a constant war being waged on our people. Constant war, equal, uh, social, um, educational, you know, in the criminal justice system. I mean, justice system. You know, on the stock market, your wages, your taxes. There's always a war being waged against our people. You know, and we still fight for this country. And that's what sticks out to me is that these things they do, we're in position for them to do them because we continue to think that as much as they beat us, all we got to do is do exactly what they want. All we got to do is side up with the bully, and he gonna stop putting his foot on our neck. And we've yet to prove that that's true, even to this day.
What I want to say is I want to share my screen to what you said, because the movie that you're talking about, I believe it's called The 24th. And we're putting this up again as a testimony. The 24th. The 24th was about that regiment in Houston. They were lying and saying they were trying to mutiny, but that's what that was about. And I'm just going to throw the Wikipedia up right quick. It was really about the Houston riot of 1917. And so, fam, you guys need to understand what that riot was about. Probably even watch that movie, because the 24th was a really good movie. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, but understand what the 24th was. So you have a history. You have a history right now that there's no few on the earth can refute or dispute if you're doing a side by side comparison on who was treated the most heinously. It's not even a comparison. You take a white on white crime situation where maybe the number was 200,000 taken down in so-called concentration camps. We got information that says otherwise. The almanac from that time says that it was only 200 something taken down according to the Red Cross. And you use that 6-7 digit number. 7 digit? Yeah, that's 7 digit. You use that 7 digit number, you're lying. That's not even reality, because it wasn't even that many of you so-calleds on the earth. What you need to do is take your rightful place along with the rest of your heathen brothers and sisters. That's why the snakes are so tightly coupled to you. That's why they tightly coupled to you. They know you related to them. They know that for a fact. You cannot compare. You put side by side comparison. You do a timeline. Just do a timeline from the 1500s to today on the fuse, and do a timeline of the so-called African Americans, the Israelites of the book. You compare atrocity for atrocity, and I don't think you stack up, sir or ma'am. I don't think you could stack up to what we just been through in the last 50 years. You can't stack up against that, because I'm telling you, your numbers is not that. Because you didn't, throughout time and immemorial, you used that same 6 million in the 1800s. You used it now. The next time something happened to us, you're gonna say, "Oh yeah, we were them, and we claimed 6 million." Stop it, brother Banya. What say you, brother?
Yeah, bro. When we look at the Civil War, and we look at our brothers and sisters' position within those events, we were nothing but expendable drones to those people. But you look back at the word contraband, right? The word contraband is saying a couple of things, right? One, it's saying that they don't recognize us as living entities, but property. But it's interesting that we would label contraband, because the definition of contraband says goods that have been imported or exported illegally. All right? Illegally. So to them, we were goods that were exported illegally. So they knew that what they did by bringing us here was against a law. It was against the Most High's law. The Most High says in Exodus, "He that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he should surely be put to death." Right? So these people did that thing. They did exactly that. In the book of Joel says it. It says, "They have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Yea, And what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon? And all the coast of Palestine, will ye render a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, while I return recompense upon your own head, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your goodly it has carried into your temples my goodly and pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem had ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their borders. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and I will return your recompense upon your own head. Now, they view this as contraband. But the Most High said, lastly, when we look in the book of Leviticus, he says, for unto me the children of Israel are servants. They are my servants, who I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. I am the Most High. So the Most High didn't create us to be anybody else's servants. We were supposed to be his servants, his alone. We belong to him and him alone. But these men have made themselves gods over the Most High's precious jewels, his precious possessions, the apple of his eye. Right? We're contraband to them. We're expendable drones. Right? But the recompense that would come upon their head is they will be expendable in return. They will serve or be destroyed in return. So the events that unfolded in the past concerning the wars that our people fought, these people are naturally evil and wicked. And it's hard to find any of them that walk a straight and narrow path concerning the judgments, the laws of the Most High. They knew it was against the Most High's laws when they took us. And that's why they called us contraband, because they knew it was illegal. They knew they didn't have any business putting their hands on us. But that's all I wanted to say.
What I want to say to everybody is, we talk about illegal and what they've done. They've stolen so much from you, and I mention this all the time, that alcohol used the best bootleggers in the nation, and they took that from you, and then they legalized it. The numbers game, you invented that. They took that from you. Talk about they creating Las Vegas, but then they create the lottery. Every idea, every imagination that they got to make money, it comes from you. But what I want to hit on, this last point, and I'm going to put up some of the comments from the chat, is what they said to my dad. Keep in mind that my father, peace be upon him, he crossed over my dad. He's not my father, he's my dad. I only have one father, and that's the father that created this construct, who spoke it into existence. My earthly dad, he told us that when he got back from World War II, mind you, that he said that his regiment's job was, when they stormed the beach, that they was the first ones to land to set the smoke screen. Now, you know how dangerous that is. And see, they don't talk about this in the movies, but this is what my dad shared with us. My dad shared with us. And so they got out there and set the smoke screen. They was taking on fire so that they can invade to storm the beach. Okay. That's what he did. So he was in the war, went over there, survived, went over there and fought. He also used to tell us the stories about what used to happen between the niggers and the Peckerwoods out and about on foreign soil. See, they don't tell y'all about them stories. Huh? They show a little bit of it in Glory. They show a little bit of it in 24, but they don't tell you what really was going down. They hated your guts even when you was fighting side by side with them. And then my dad gets back, and he lived in the South, lived in Arkansas. That's right. That's where my good concentration of my people from. And in Arkansas, he gets back, and he's in his uniform, and then someone says to him, "Nigger, what you doing on the street?" Isn't that something? He just got back from fighting in war, risking his life, so that he, in his mind, he thinking he gonna be accepted by the United States. That the United States was never for your turn, nor was it designed to be for your turn. And that's what the Israelites need to get into their mind. You need to be looking to go home. There's something in every Israelite spirit right now that's saying, I want to be out of here. I want to go home. Father, I want to go home. You send us home.
Hey, Elder Cleo.
It's up.
Before you move on, you were just talking about some of the things that they took from us, some of the ideas. You touched a little bit on prohibition. I can't get over this idea of legal marijuana. I tell you the reason why I can't get over it.
Oh, gosh.
I can't get over it, Elder Cleo, is because coming up, I cannot tell you the number of brothers and sisters that I know that did years and years of their life for possessing marijuana. I cannot tell you the number of people who were locked up for possessing marijuana. And now they got the proper. I mean, I'm in California. You can go to the corner store and get some, and you could buy some. And none of our people are selling it. None of our people are making any bank from these. It's crazy to me. And it's just. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
No, I was just going to say, just to go with your point, I mean, not to cut you off, but the brothers in Cali that's still doing life from the 3-strike law that they passed, just for, you talk about misdemeanor marijuana charges, they're still in prison right now because they didn't count it retroactive to free brothers that got charges like that. You talk about brothers running around with ounces and bags that literally are in prison for life. Going to your point, I didn't mean to interrupt you, though, bro.
No. That was good, and I'm fine with that. That too. I just wanted to put that in, Elder, real quick, because that is still astounding to me. It still bugs me, man. It still bugs me.
And to your point, that's a great point, bro. And guess what? Here's the greatest thing, that somewhere there's an accounting happening right now where everybody's ringing up a tab. You go into the local. Remember, we used to have the local store. You could go there and get something on credit, or if you at a bar, you give their credit card, you give your credit card or debit card, and they say you start to run a tab. This wicked nation got a tab going right now. It's an ongoing tab. And they're starting to find out that everything that these people running around talking about, the Israelites, they listening to what you saying. They recording everything that they say, that we saying, and they got it on tape. They got it because they trying to figure out, first of all, how did they find out? Now that they found out, how are we going to keep them in check now? How are we going to keep these people in check that know that they the people of the book? Well, if they the people of the book, then when do we have to pay this bill that we got? The Father got an accounting somewhere. There's an accounting somewhere where the Father's keeping record of everything that this wicked nation has stolen from us. Every individual that has been killed, every individual that has been falsely accused, falsely judged, falsely persecuted, falsely imprisoned, falsely has to work as a slave 2024. We ain't even started 2023 yet. You got our folks in prison working for a penny an hour, maybe 2 cents an hour. I'm not sure what the numbers are. It's irrelevant because you're not paying them just wages. Then you got the nerve to talk about child labor in China. Stop it, America. Stop it. Stop it. You the only one that dropped a nuclear bomb supposedly on somebody, and yet Iran can't have nukes? But you the only one on record that we got on record that done destroyed 2 cities, supposedly. Really? And you the moral authority on the earth? No, you're not. I'm here to tell you, a liar, and so is you, and so is the ones that wrote your Constitution. Those deists was liars too, because you're not supreme. There's nothing close to you being supreme. So I'm gonna go ahead and rock out on some of the comments. I appreciate you brothers' commentary. We're gonna rock some of these comments, And I'm going to give y'all back some time. That's what we say in the office. If you have a meeting that doesn't last, you have an hour meeting and you only go for 45 minutes, you're giving the people back some time. Let's see. Sharon O says the Pope showing his true self. Yeah, let me get to that comment. There's a comment up north. Yeah, here we go, right here. Kiara King says, y'all for real, I laughed hard today when the Pope said homo is not a crime. It's a crime against the natural order of how the Father set things up. Now, I don't hate you if you are that way, sir or ma'am, but what I would recommend that you do is that you should probably live in your life according to how the book says a person should. This is the original school, Psalms 118, 89, 90. Forever, O Yahweh, thy word is settled in heaven. That's right. That's where it is. But this precept goes exactly to what I've been saying. Thy faithfulness is unto all generations. How could something that he say be faithful to all generations? Unless it's still here. That frequencies that he said it in under is still here on the earth. If he say his word and never come back, boy, that means that his word is indestructible. It's still here. Those frequencies are still resonating to this day. That's why the Israelites can take those words and rightfully divide it. Thou hast established the earth and it abide. Those words, those same words abide in the earth right now to this day. And who's the only one on earth that can rightfully divide his word? Put a 7 up if you know who that people is. I know who they are. The only ones on the earth that can rightfully divide the book. Who is that? Put a 7 up if you know who that is. It's funny how everything that the Israelites say is coming to pass. Isn't that something? It's not what Kirk Cameron and them was saying. It never was what they were saying. Hal Lindsey. It was not what he's saying. It's not what Stan Johnson on a prophecy club with his silly self. He changed his prophecies every 5 days. It's something new, and yet he think he called. He says that the quote, I put it quote, the tribulation don't happen until his wife's dreams happen. Man, you out your mind. You lost your mind. You lost all of your mind.
What you say? You said to his ice cream get Jimmy's.
What's that?
What you that's what you said?
No, I said he said he said the prophecies is not going to happen until the prophecies that his wife prophesied happen. In other words, the tribulation not going to start until the 4 or 5 or 7 prophecies that she prophesied happen in the order that she prophesied them in.
Well, I heard you right. Until his ice cream get Jimmy's. I
Oh
heard you
yeah.
right.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So you cover with your. I should have known that you. Is that my get back?
Hey, elder,
That's my get
elder,
back. Is that my get back? Just
listen.
say yes or no, bro. Just say yes or
No,
no.
no, no. That's not your get back.
Oh
But
dang, man! I thought I was getting away.
I'm gonna say this, that it amazes me that these people believe they have any effect or any prophetization skills or spirit to say what happens in prophecy. It always amazes me. You know, they're better off saying when they make the perfect chicken, the end comes.
Man, this is the time we're in where the book talks about they are physicians of no value, and that's exactly what they are. And it's not sad that they lead their people to ruin. It's not. I'm not saddened by that at all. I hate to say that. Matter of fact, no, I don't hate to say that. I say that with all joy in my heart. You could go ahead and leave your people down to degradation if you want. I view you and look at you. I go on your channels and I type in little quick snippets, ask us dumbass questions because for me it's entertainment. A white evangelical and even more so a white evangelical prophet is entertainment for me. I sit back and laugh because nothing you say come to pass. And when you say something, you don't get stoned for what you're saying. You come up with these excuses as far as why Trump's not in office. I'm using that one as an example because the white evangelicals, all 100% of them, was like, "Yay, Trump! Trump's our savior! Yay, Trump! We love Trump! MAGA, 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 MAGA." Oh, let's storm the Capitol. We need to take over for our president. He's the second. They believe that Trump is the second coming of Mashiach, third coming or fourth coming. He's Mashiach. He's King Cyrus. He's King David. He's a form of a savior. He's Solomon. All those things wrapped up into one. That's what they believe. And so I'm glad when their prophecies don't happen, don't come to pass, and I just sit back and laugh at them. Sit back and laugh. See, that's how you know they don't have the book, because if you're a prophet and something that you say don't come to pass, what's supposed to befall you? The book say somewhere you're not supposed to fear him. But at the same time, you shouldn't be a prophet. The book say you should be stoned. I think it say that somewhere. I'm not really sure. Somebody needs to get that precept. Make sure I'm not making stuff up. That's what needs to happen. Let's keep reading some of the fam's comments. Brother Judo has won key battles in every battle. Blank America has been involved in, e.g., Harlem, Hellfire, Tuskegee argument. Yeah, right. That was in conjunction with what Elisha was bringing out earlier. You know what? I'm gonna start from the bottom and work up, because y'all been blazing in the chat. Matter of fact, there's so much. There's so much that you guys have been doing, and here's what I recommend. Up next, yeah, we were contraband. That's right, we were and are and still is. But guess who we contraband of though? We contraband of the Father. We his contraband. Don't nobody own us but him. That's why he sent Mashiach to be our kinsman and redeemer. He's our kinsman. He came to redeem his kinsman. I said that earlier. Yeah, we his contraband. We the Father's contraband. Somewhere in the book say we the apple of his eye. We are. You should look at yourself in the mirror and say, the Father has blessed me, so I'm going to do his will, because it's the time that we're in. I should be doing the will. I say this to y'all all the time, and he asked himself a question with the question. Well, Brother Cleo, what is the will of the Father? Well, what's his will for your life? What has he told you that he wants you to do this hour for your people, for your family? Your family is the people in the chat. I'm not talking about your brothers and sisters. I'm not talking about your mom and dad. That's your family. Yes, sir. We all family. That's your family. Father then gave you something great, unimaginable, that he gave you an assignment. That's doing the will of the Father. Keeping his commandments. That's doing the will of the Father. Using them talents that he gave you in this time. If you know that time is going backwards, we're going to see this civil war here in the States. Yeah, we're going to see it. We're not in fear of it, but we're going to see it. We step back out of the way and let them have at it. Ukraine and Russia is white on white crime. That's their business. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Have at it. China, Taiwan, okay. Flip a coin. Which one you want to win? Have at it. Go ahead. Iran, Israel, y'all do y'all thing. Have fun doing it. Do what you I do also. Do as thou will. Think I care about them? I only care about one group of people. That's the Israelites. That's it, and that's all. I don't have no feeling for nobody else. I'm sorry. I'm all somebody get that precept where it say the love of many will wax cold. My love has waxed cold for my enemies, because I identified that I was in a war. I've identified that I have enemies, and I identified who I should be loving and who I shouldn't be loving. Have you done that this day? That's my question for you, family. Have you done that this day? Have you done that this day where you could say, okay, yeah, I'm loving my family, but at the same time, I don't have nothing to do with those other people. Everybody else practices that. Why don't you practice that? Why has the spell of Christianity bewitched you so that the first thing that you think about when you say that I'm accepting my culture of being an Israelite, somebody runs to the book or runs and says, oh, well, the heathen can be saved too. Well, I never said that. Nor do I care about. Why should I care about them when I'm on the bottom of the barrel, scraping the bottom of the barrel, can't rub two nickels together to save my life, Kanye West, or anybody else? It's time out for thinking about us. Why don't you look to yourself? Why don't you look at yourself and say, okay, I need to be building something, doing something with myself. Yes, it's white on white crime, and do I care about it? No, I do not, sir or ma'am. Where's that comment at? Yeah, I'm gonna put these comments up. These
Elder, I just wanted to say, the sister did post. The sister, Shamara, Unorthodox She did post that scripture we're looking for, and it's also in Deuteronomy 13:5. Scripture's a little too big to post, but you want to have it read, I'll read it, or try to just put the sister's post up.
I'll go ahead and read this one. This Deuteronomy 18 and 20. This is one of the ones I called. I called a few of them. Let's go ahead and let me read that Deuteronomy 18 and 20. But the prophet, this is talking about people that's running around talking, I'm not no prophet. I'll tell you that right now. I'm just a regular dude. A regular blow lunch pail Joe. That's what you could call me. But the prophet, those that call themselves a prophet or a prophetess, which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which means that you saying that the Father said this to you, he told you to give this word to the people, which I have not commanded that male or female, him or her to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other Elohim or other gods, which some of them come in the name of Google. So you coming in the name of something that you read on Google that the Father didn't give to you, or maybe it's because of the pizza that you had last night, and you're coming in that, and you're teaching that, and you're saying, "Oh, the Father told me this, and He didn't tell you." This what should befall you. Even that prophet shall die. So this is what's supposed to befall you. You running around here lying, saying that the Father said something when He didn't say it. You might as well say, this is what I got from Google. This is what Google told me to bring to the earth. And then you'll be okay. Because we do know that Google is God, right? Y'all do know that, right? Google is God. So because Google is God, then you could go and Google something and say, thus saith Google. Don't you be running around lying, talking about you are evangelical, you're a white evangelical, and you say that you're dealing with a father. You are dealing with an entity. And that entity is leading you down degradation. No, sir, man, what you need to do is you need to put down the book, start over from bakery scratch like the Israelites did, but get in front of an Israelite and listen to them and listen to what they are saying to the earth. And then you move accordingly. Point blank, because you're not going to get no truth nowhere else about what's happening. Where else you go? Who was telling anybody about the second Exodus? Who was telling anybody about the 400-year prophecy? Who was telling anybody about what happened in Spain to our people? Who was telling anybody to bring together all the catalogs of books and information? Who's talking about supersessionism and what that means? Who's talking about who the Israelites are? Who's talking about who the Israelites aren't? Everything that go on the earth is because of the Israelite. Everything. So it will behoove you to start doing the will that the Father gave you. I'm going to put some of these precepts up and we're going to close out. See it say, let the wicked take out the wicked. Yes, sir. Let them destroy themselves. Because they're more than likely, if you look at the nation, they're probably Psalms 83 anyway. White on white crime. I don't care nothing about that. I don't care nothing about. You say, oh, well, what about Chicago? Well, I say, well, what about where you at? Surely what's happening in Chicago this day pales in comparison to all the heinous acts that you've been doing since you've been running shop. Let's compare Chicago over the last 50 years to what you've done over the last 50 years and all the nations where you got bases at, where you destroying them nations. And then you running around talking about you destroying the nation because they say they want democracy. No, sir, no, ma'am. Nobody wants democracy. Democracy is your way of controlling that area. You lie under the vein of democracy because everybody is under the hypnotrance that America is so great, and America is not so great. America is great for lying, cheating, robbing, and stealing. You blind. And for stealing everything that they got from liquid money. And you know who liquid money is. Put a 7 up if you know what liquid money is. You liquid money. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. You liquid money. Deuteronomy 37. And the Father, thy Elohim, will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. Now, if you're a so-called evangelical, when the last time you read that precept right there? When was the last time you broke down that precept as far as who does this pertain to? Who is it talking about? When is it supposed to occur? Why is it supposed to occur? How is it going to occur? Where's the mighty hand and outstretched arm and fury poured out? Is that connected to that? Does that precept to that? And who is he talking about? Who got persecuted? Who was hated? And then who's the enemies? See, the problem with the so-called Negro, the Israelite, is that you never know, you never had nobody tell you who your enemies were. Nobody ever told you. Just now figured it out. But guess what? Everybody around you have been looking at you saying, that's our enemy. We need to link up together. We need to protect ourselves. We need to look out for our own interests. We. The so-called Negro, so-called Israelite, not so-called Israelite. The Israelite is the only one that says, okay, it's not about we, it's about all of us, including everybody, bringing everybody into the ranks, right? Backwards. Totally backwards. Let's see here. Let me get down to the bottom. I got to get down to the bottom and go to the top because y'all blazing. Let's see here what we say. My brother says Christianity and sanity only do New Testament. That's right, and they don't even do that because they don't read it. If you did the New Testament, you would clearly understand that Mashiach is the law. You would clearly understand he's the full embodiment of the law. When somebody get the precept where he say, I come in the full volume of the book. If he come in the full volume of the book, that means that he came in all righteousness and faith in the what? The Father's righteousness, which is LSC. For Christianity that don't know, and yes, we do love Mashiach. Yes, we do. Because if it wasn't for him, we would not have a propitiation for what we've done in this body that we have, this meat jacket. Let's see here. Land of the thieves and the home of the slave. They will pay. Yes, sir. They got it coming to them. And I believe that they're starting to understand that, which is why you're starting to hear all this rumbling about reparations. The next thing they're going to want to do is they're going to want to keep you here, which they do want to keep you here. They say that they want you to leave. They say that they want to destroy you. But if they did that, who's going to fight in their wars? Who's going to fight in their army? Who would be willing to fight in their army? Who cares about them to that level where you would say, hey, yeah, let's take the Israelites and fight for us. That's what you've been saying all the time anyway. Let's let the Israelites fight this war for us. Fight World War II. Fight World War III. You already had World War V. Why are you talking about we waiting on World War III when you've been at war with the earth since you've been in power? Stop telling me we talk about we looking at World War III. No, sir, no, ma'am. How many bases you got over the earth? How many bases the other nations got over there? And you've been fighting, destroying nations. You've been at war. Stop telling that lie. World War III is coming. You've been at war since you've been in power. You've been fighting people, building bases, destroying, upsetting countries. If somebody don't do your bidding, you destroy that leader, kill that leader, put a puppet in power. Wash, rinse, and repeat. Wash, rinse, and repeat. Watch, rinse, and repeat. You done shed blood, innocent blood over the whole nation, and there's no way that you're gonna get away without paying for it. I'm sorry, that's just the way it works, folks. I didn't invent it. I didn't invent the game. My neighbors and brothers are Israelites. That's right. That's all that is. You look at neighbor, you better be talking about when they was right now, their neighbor was somebody that lived next to them, and that was an Israelite. If you go and buy that was an Israelite. Because the Israelites wrote that. Your neighbor ain't somebody who lived next to you. That's not your fam. Sorry. That's what it is. So, fam, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna read this. Oh, here we go. Hey, Hebrews 10:7. This is for Christianity. Christianity, how you gonna get by this verse right here? How you gonna get by this precept? Which one of you brothers put that up? I want y'all to read this. Read this precept for me, please. I'm not even going to interrupt you. The brother that put this up, please read that, please.
Hebrews 10:7. Then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me to do thy will, O Most High.
What's the Father's will? What will did he give? What will did he give for the Israelites? What is righteousness? What is that? What's the Father's will? The man said he came in the full volume of the book. When he said this, Hebrews 10:7 was not written. Okay, so if Hebrews 10:7 were not written, what was Mashiach talking about? If he said he'd come in the full volume of it. And if you being Christian, if you being Christ-like, wouldn't you being in the volume of the book being like him? Because he's pointing back to the law, the Psalms, and the prophets when he said this. So if he's pointing you back to the law, Psalms, and the prophet, means that he is the embodiment of the law, the Psalms, and the prophets. So if he's the embodiment of the laws, the Psalms, and the prophet, how in the Sam hell you gonna get away with saying that it's not okay to keep the law when the man is telling you right here that he is the law? Explain that one to me, Christianity. You can't get past that. And there's plenty more precepts where that came from. And we vindicate Paul and John because Paul and John did the same thing when they was quoting. They was quoting from the law, the Psalms, and the prophets. Some call it the Torah. Some say Tanakh. You can't forget about Proverbs and the Psalms. You can't forget about those books either. So, fam, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna shut it down. I'm gonna give y'all back some time. We got 2 hours and 25 minutes. I'm gonna give my brothers the last words as I normally do, and then what I'm gonna do. Oh, before I do that, though, brother Bonnie, you there? Read this precept for me, bro, please. Cause see, the family not done blazing. Go ahead and read this. Read this precept for me, bro. If you still there, brother Bonnie.
1 John 5:3.
Yes, sir.
For this is the love of the Most High, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
So this is the love of the Father. The Father say this is the love of him if you keep his commandments. So if you're not a commandment keeper, you don't love the Father then. I didn't say that. That's what the book say. That's straight from the book. Thank you for putting that precept up. Let's see. Y'all got some precepts in there. I gotta put them up. And fam, you direct your family back to the commentary and the precepts that's coming in. He dropped another one. Brother Najee, can you read this precept for me, please?
Ecclesiastes 12:13.
Yes, sir.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
When was this written and who was he talking to? Who is he telling who is he saying that he wants to do these things? Because guess what? Contrary to popular belief, the fews don't believe this. They don't believe this book. They still wait for their Messiah. They say their Messiah is here on the earth right now, walking around. Some goofy looking dude in a small hat. Y'all call him goofy looking because he don't mean nothing to me. So I can say that. You got what it means, the whole matter, and this is the end of it. It gives you 2 requirements because see, Christianity teaches you that you should have a respect for the Father when you should have a healthy fear of the Father. You should, when they say fear, it means that. It's not playing around. Fear means fear. Yes, be scared of him. Be scared of him that he might toss you headlong into hell without a ticket anywhere else but to a bottomless falling pit that's burning the hell out of you.
Can I
give you two requirements. Yeah, I'm gonna say 2 requirements. Keep his commandments, and this is your duty. Go ahead, bro.
share my screen real quick? From the book of Romans, or the epistles of Romans. It says in the epistles of Romans, it says in chapter 3, verse 28. Therefore, we conclude that a man is justified by faith without the deeds of the law. Is he the most high of the... Wait a minute. All right, here we go. Is he the Elohim of the Jews only? Is he not also of the Gentiles? Yes, of the Gentiles also. Now, let me just clarify. The word Jew means Judah. Gentiles talking about the scattered northern kingdom and those that were Hellenized of the southern kingdom. Seeing it is one Elohim which should justify the circumcision by faith and uncircumcision through faith, do we make void the law through faith? Most High forbid. Yea, we establish the law. So according to the scripture, establish me, we promote the law. We do the law. We teach the law. Establish. What establish mean? Establish. What does that mean? Hold on. I wrote it in the wrong spot. Establish means to set up an organization system or set of rules on a firm or permanent basis. A firm or permanent basis. So Paul said we established the law, right? We set the law up on a firm and permanent basis, all right? So Paul never taught that we're not supposed to keep the law. He said we establish it. We don't make it void by faith, all right? Faith without works is dead. He that believe in the Most High do what the Most High said. He obeys the Most High. That's all I wanted to say.
That's book, Selah. Selah. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you brothers the last words like I normally do, and I'm going to give the family back a little bit of time so that you can enjoy the family and do something peaceful with yourself. Brother Eliashah, what say you, brother?
Yeah, this is part of the manuscript that talks about that he sits in the temple of God, saying he is God. And you go into what the precepts say, it says, don't you know ye are the temple of God? We are.
Yes, sir.
So the heathen has set himself up in the temple of God just by masquerading as us, claiming he is God, telling us that we don't have to keep the commandments. We don't have to keep the law. We don't have to keep the covenant of life. And by doing so, and by us allowing him to usurp us as the Most High's people, he takes his right to hell with him, which is his goal. Everything that's been instituted since we broke the Most High's covenant by the nations was to bring us to our ruin, to bring us to our fall. And even to this day, we still follow after him. We still don't return to the Most High. We still want to believe their doctrine. You think about it, we come along, we teaching LSC, but the Christian church is teaching, just believe, faith without works. That's like the best party in town when you can do whatever you want and still go to heaven. And the ones who oppress you be right there with you, living right next door to you. But he is in a bigger house. But when we come along teaching the law, statutes, and commandments, that's an oppressive doctrine. That's a doctrine that is going to take away their liberty. See, the job that the Most High is giving his people to do, his prophets to do. You speaking out of that word, you speaking the words that the prophet spoke, you speaking the prophecy the Most High gave. You're speaking the words of the prophets. You're acting in their position, in their state, even in our time right now. And one of the main things that our people don't want to do is leave that party where they can do whatever they want to do to turn over and walk in righteousness, walk circumspect, and to do the things that are right, and to gather together and desire to leave this land and not have any provisions with what's going to happen after that, but to truly walk out on faith. So all we can do, man, we can keep praying for our people, and we can keep on enlightening them in the truth. The Most High is putting the words in our mouth, not just us, but all the camps out there, even all y'all in the chat. I'm pretty sure y'all are diligent as well. All the brothers, all the sisters, wherever you're at, I'm pretty sure you're the voice, the light, wherever you're at speaking. And the Most High is blessing you to speak. Looking at the precepts that y'all put inside the chat, I know that y'all on the job. Always making sure that the Most High's word go forward. So we're just going to keep doing what we're doing, Israel.
Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate you jumping on. Brother Najee, what say you, brother?
Hey, yeah, and thank you, Elder Cleo, for excuse me, I'm gonna cough my way through this. Thank you for letting me on. All my elders are on the panel today. It's always great to be along with you, brothers. I know that every time we gather together in the name of Yah, He's in our midst, and I'm grateful for that. And I'm sure everybody here is grateful for that also. We are talking about time today. And we know that for our forefather Joshua, the sun stood still for him. The days are shortened for us here in these last days. There is nothing that our Father, our great Elohim, the Most High, won't do for his people with his mighty stretched out hand specifically for us. So don't let anyone tell you, brothers and sisters, that you're not special. They told us we weren't special. All we were good for was wearing their chains and picking their cotton and, using our children as alligator bait, but they failed to see the link between the cross and the lynching tree when they were hanging us from trees. Those are synonymous things. It was another sign given to us that we are the people of the Most High. So again, brothers and sisters, don't let anybody tell you you aren't the most special people on the planet. You are the apple of the Most High's eye. Be blessed, everyone.
Appreciate you, Brother Najee. Thank you for joining on. Appreciate you, brother. Brother Banya, you get the last words. What say you, brother?
You know me, brother. I keep it simple. Walk in faith, walk in grace, and walk in obedience, Israel.
Well, you know what this means, fams. This has been another Salt of the Earth production. Man, I don't have to keep telling y'all, time is getting short, so just get saved.